Now, I'm sure I ain't got to put no clips up or anything like that because I'm sure y'all have caught it in some type of form on some type of social media platform, right? But what I have took place was some 9-0s had went to St. Andrews Park, the A trays, and did some videos, taunting and whatnot, dissing and just being how they are, carrying on how they carrying on, right? And then in return, the A Trey Gangsters did that, went to Jesse Owens, pretty much played the same thing. You know, I can't remember if both party was waving guns and whatnot, but I know somewhere down the line one of them groups was waving guns and stuff like that, right? And I'm gonna cover a few different things pertaining to this situation, so y'all got to keep up with me. Now, I feel like we in the times to where, as far as the streets go, I feel like a lot of the youngest crowds feel like it's so much like it make you look tough to be rebellious. You know, a lot of these dudes see these talks and they probably know some of their homies into these talks and they feel like, you know what, F that. Or maybe it's a disconnect with the communication level, right? Like we standing for this, and y'all need to chill out on some of the time or agitating or just all the disrespect. Just put a cap on that, right? Maybe it's that. Who knows? But I also want to say this to the young dudes. You know, you might feel like you gained some points by carrying on like that, but a lot of individuals that serious individuals, you really didn't gain no points from them. You know, you waving guns don't really like impress real dudes that come from the culture. You know, you letting everybody know that you like giving everybody a heads up that you coming, that's not even smart. You know, you need the element of surprise at the end of the day, right? And then, okay, if something was to happen, let's just say y'all made y'all videos, whatever, uploaded it then or later, who knows? I don't know if y'all was recording on live or not, whatever the case may be. But y'all all done put a target on y'all self for nothing. See, if y'all was actually getting at dudes, then guess what? Y'all start being hot anyway. But it'll still be a lot more investigating that need to take place. The fact that you highlight that for yourselves, y'all putting targets on yourself with y'all ops and with the police. Because if you really gonna try to cause harm to somebody, then you gotta be aware and you gotta be worried of the police. You know, unless you totally studio. And let's just say you uploaded that before y'all left the park or whatever the case may be. Or let's just say y'all got that in y'all phones, right? And a shootout take place. Now, y'all can't get away from the crime because let's just say y'all already upload the video and it's already on the internet, so everybody know who was there at that moment. Or let's just say, you know, a couple y'all or all y'all is filming things with y'all phones, so whoever get hit and they, they laying out, whether they going to the hospital or the morgue, guess what? They gonna go through their phones, pull that up. Now the rest of y'all that was in the park, y'all grabbed up. And then if you really want to move around and be, I mean, it's all about how you want to do it. I understand when you up and coming in the streets, you kind of want to make a name for yourself and put your face out there. But at the end of the day, we in a different time frame to where dudes is they gang career is actually going hand in hand with the era of social media. So a lot of generations don't really understand it, don't get it, and damn sure ain't gonna respect it. But this is what they doing nowadays. A lot of people don't have to even prove themselves in the streets. They just have to carry on an image and create this illusion long enough, and they'll probably get a loud name. People might not never seen nothing, really know no facts about nothing, but guess what? They carrying themselves a certain way, and people that just respect them for carrying on like they actually are some type of monster. And I'm not saying that for them young dudes from 9 or from A-Trey. Who knows what they be doing. But I also want to say this. A lot of you young dudes got to listen. I feel like me, myself, like we grew up in a time frame to where people used to teach us, stop while you ahead. And stop but while you ahead mean, stop before things get possibly worse or something. Or things actually do get bad. And a lot of y'all in them videos look like y'all was young. Look like y'all might be 20 and under, who knows. So I ain't gonna say that y'all ain't experienced some level of heartache, but it seemed like to me that some of y'all probably ain't just that. Y'all didn't seem like y'all was just that damaged or affected in a certain way that, come with this gang culture, with these streets, And if you don't listen to people who done witnessed and went through all kind of trials and tribulations and dealt with that for years, for decades, then you're going to have to go through that same process. And you might not get it, you know what I mean? Because you're not battling with some of these situations. But y'all going to end up having to really be doing time, sitting somewhere alone, going through hard times, shot up, wounded, affected forever, dead. It might be a couple people that passed away now. In the long run, that's going to turn into 10 and 20. And you got to know, when you got dead homies, that don't necessarily just count the dudes just coming from your gang. The longer you participate in the lifestyle, you going to start being have heartaches from all over the place. You know 5 dudes from over there, 2 dudes from there, 5 dudes from here, 5 homies from your hood, 8 homies from over there that you know and you care about. And that's the lifestyle. So when you got people that's out here pushing these agendas, even if you're not for it, you need to really lend an ear and try your best to comprehend it. Because that's how I comprehend it. I know a lot of real people and I know real facts about individuals. So I might know, I'm a stand-up dude and I'm a solid individual and I ain't nothing to just play with. But then I know other dudes who might be the same with me, but been doing it longer. Or they might be, they levels might be up more than me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't ashamed or anything like that to be 100. Because everybody is different type of individuals at the end of the day. Some people is better at certain things. Some people is more of a beast. Some people that have been in more wars or been in longer wars. So you still got to consider the fact. No matter what you done went through, you got to know that. Not saying that you got to lay down and just buckle and just, let a person have their way with you on no circumstances at all. I ain't saying that. But I'm saying we communicating and we just being honest about things, learn from it. When you see people that serious as you or more serious than you, and you got people who have been affected like you or more than you, then went through more than you or same as you, and you see them willing to see a certain solution to certain problems, you should really try your best to comprehend that. Because if you was doing that, just like, let's just say, being successful and getting money, right? Let's just say, you got a lot of people that been rich all their life for the most part, just for decades, since their early 20s, teens, whatever. Anybody that was getting money and they was successful in life in a real way, not trying to dodge the police, not, in potential forms of getting robbed or anything like that, they would be doing what they've been doing decade in, decade out. They wouldn't have nothing to say to contradict the choices they have been making for decades. Because that's the right thing, right? Successful, taking care of your family, got your affairs in order. You got stuff put in the right positions for the fam and all that stuff, right? Then, on the other hand, when you got dudes who've been doing this for decades and decades and decades, and they pretty much pushing it out there like, we kind of went down the path on the wrong way. Or maybe we just didn't go, maybe we went on the wrong path, but we start making a lot of wrong choices on the path we was on, which pretty much, made the whole settings worse than what it had to be. So it all became to a cycle of achieving nothing, but just constantly the same behavior, the same old pain, the same old everything under the sun. We come from these hard environments, so people being numb to things or whatever the case may be, being hearted, don't drop tears and all that stuff is something that people adjust to and they adapt to. But on some humanity type stuff, that don't necessarily mean that that's normal. So it's like a lot of y'all still got normal in y'all. And I promise you, you just want to learn and try your best to comprehend what these older dudes or any young dude or whoever that's pushing this that might have been coming before y'all or have endured more than y'all. You want to give it a good ear and try your best to comprehend. I'm just giving you an option, right? That's just like your family. If you lost one person in your family, wouldn't you rather just only lose one person in your family as opposed to losing the whole household? You wouldn't want to lose nobody, right? Obviously that. But I'm just saying, if you was to have to lose one, you don't want it to turn into just your whole household. And that's what a lot of people have endured in these streets. You got people that they hold. I know people, man, like they kids, far as like all they boys and stuff, gone. They brothers and stuff, gone. Certain people, they only siblings, gone. Fathers, mamas, gone. All behind the gang culture. Dudes they went to school with, really went like, lived with and all kind of stuff, gone. And some of that is to death and some of that to jail. And you might feel like people ain't hurting inside or people ain't really, battling with that because they get stronger with time and know how to conceal it better. But you gotta know, man, that stuff is affecting people. You got a head start. You can nip it in the bud right now. You ain't gotta wait 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever, to figure it out, to say, you know what, we've been doing something that was pretty much a waste of time. Don't get me wrong, homie. I always push that the gang culture is definitely there and needed for the individuals who need it. Some people might understand it and some people don't, but it depends on how your life is cut out and how you born or raised or what your settings may be. The streets might serve a good purpose to you if you is fortunate enough to get around the right individuals to show you certain things and teach you certain things and fill certain voids. But I'm not saying that it's something that you should just voluntarily try to participate in just because you want to have some attention in a weird way, just because you want clout, just because you want to try to like fit in and follow. You know what I'm saying? It's not that though. If you ain't really willing to, like if you really know what you want to do tomorrow, like if you really want to go home tomorrow, if you really don't want to have to go through so much high levels of pain tomorrow, then you probably already know that it ain't for you. See, dudes used to come to the streets, man, like obviously you had people who didn't like even comprehend what was the difference from the streets, because in the early stages of the gang culture or anything, whatever, just in the streets, they didn't understand what was wrong or right or what was going to be, where this stuff was going to go. They knew to something. So you can't even count or consider like what a dude did 10, 20, 40 years ago, because these dudes wasn't knowing what was wrong. Now, when you got something going on 50 years down the line, you are 100% aware of what comes with this stuff. Dudes was entrapped with the lifestyle, which was by law, that's what it was supposed to be. But now y'all getting to see it. It's right in y'all face. I tell homies all the time, like, you ain't even gotta really like, you used to have to get to know, be around people forever before you find out they was wrong or faulty. Now we get on the internet and everybody exposing they faulty. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't even gotta go through all that now. Y'all got the benefits, y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of real dudes was still on the streets. A lot of people were still standing for the honor. A lot of people were still pushing for the guidelines and the code. A lot of people is not no more. Look at them 50-50 yards. Them 50-50 yards would not exist if the streets wasn't so watered down. And that's just the truth of the matter. So, whether you're going to wake up and make the choice and say, you know what, I'm a full-fledged something or not, whatever the case may be, just at least you really comprehend what people are saying out here before you make these choices, so that way you don't turn around with no regrets. So that way you don't get in no real situation and then you leave somebody behind or leave somebody dead. So you don't do no stuff and get in the jam and you start telling on somebody. Cause you couldn't take self accountability for what you was dying to be or so seriously to try to involve yourself in. And going back to what I was saying about people who you can't compare like what a person did 30 years ago with what you doing now, because you didn't witness everything that's wrong with the culture, as opposed people that was still learning to come to the mindset of like, you know what, we ain't really benefiting from it, right? It's just like smoking crack. Person smoked crack or something in the 80s, maybe the 90s, whatever. It's like, it is what it is. New wave in life. A lot of people know better, some people don't. That's just how it go. You can't really be so harsh on that. But you wake up in 2024 and you act like you want to be on crack. I mean, what more signs do you need to know? You know what I'm saying? Back then, people didn't know that people was going to start stealing from their grandparents and stealing from the neighbors and, you know, selling their kids and abandoning their kids. And, you know, people didn't necessarily know that early on in the stage of that. But now you understand that. You know? So if you wake up and you, by choice, act like, you know, I want to go start getting on crack like that, then it's like, you don't need to learn nothing. Like, you know, you a waste of time. And you acting like your life don't matter. Because you know already what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. You know, if you ever sit in the cell, even for the, like, just for, I don't know, however long you ever sit in the cell, court tanks, whatever, if you run across anybody, the right people in them places, and they be some of the stand-up dudes, even on the lot, even in the streets though, but them dudes will tell you like, don't come in here. Do whatever you need to do. Don't come back in here. They're not saying do some snitching. They just like, do what you need to do. Don't come back in here. And these be stand-up dudes, real members, dudes who be in there taking 15 on the chin, taking life with on the chin. You know what I'm saying? Real people. Even people in the streets that done lost a lot and they done got a lot of levels of revenge handled. And they still telling you what's not right for certain stuff. So make sure you understand that, man. I might have made this a long video, but I just want to really tune in and give my outlook on that and give out some real knowledge. A lot of young dudes might, you know, might be in a space at life to where they don't care about this. Some people might wake up or somebody might send this to them and be like, damn, he kicking some knowledge. Who knows? You know? But it is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's pushing, you know, for what's best for the black community, for all communities, for society itself, you know, trying to push the right agenda, not just trying to see the bad pattern of repetitive bad pattern and stuff like that. And whatever, man, you know, shout out to the Dice crew. Shout out to everybody who pushing the real line outside, putting action behind their words. And again, you know, not again, but this video was not put out to try to disrespect nobody or to offend anybody or to belittle anybody. You know, I understand that the young dudes gotta, you know, find their way and they gotta get taught one day or one way or another. And I understand that we all done been young before. So I ain't gonna be just going down the path of just trying to just straight, just, you know, go hard on them and put my foot down their throat. But I might gotta put my foot in their rear end. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the difference from doing something way off the wall as opposed to just doing what young adults or teenagers or kids do. And even this, for a lot of people pushing that, you know, this is signals and signs of not peace. At the end of the day, man, them young dudes might feel like they doing what's right, and they might, some of them know they faking, some of them know they studying, and some of them don't really know no better. They just think that's the way. They see a lot of people feel, you know, get praises and stuff like that, so they feel like maybe that's the way. But at the end of the day, on the real note, with the real members, with the real people, you know, that's no harm. You know, that's some black eye type stuff, some disrespect type stuff, you know, not necessarily really marking nobody out. It could be a strong possibility that you pulled up, wasn't nobody there, so now you're gonna do it in the park. Now you can easily whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways people can look at that to where they not afraid or they feel like you actually did something. You really didn't hurt nobody. Yeah, you disrespected they gang, and that's nothing. That's a small, minor smear on the mirror when you know what actually takes place in these streets. So if it's not, and then that's the thing, a lot of people is just faking and they funky, and phony and studio are not really being real about the gang life anyway, right? So we only really have to worry about the ones who really, if they get upset, they gonna be serious and it's gonna lead to serious results. So can this disrespect lead to a level of violence? It's always a possibility. But if ain't nobody got upset, ain't no real members that's, those serious dudes, not saying none of them young dudes ain't been on serious stuff or not real members, but y'all get where I'm saying, where it's them certain type of individuals from everywhere that, if they get upset, the city gonna definitely know they got upset. So as long as none of them from A-Trey felt offended, 9 Dope felt offended, and they still running around and all the real gangsters and the real dudes that everybody running across is still keeping it honorable and, shaking it up, boom, 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 and pushing, then hey, it is what it is. Quit trying to use everything that's, not really that effective. Like it's just that much of a, breaking the peace or acting like, it ain't no real calm manner. And you got to add it up, really. Add up the percentage of people that's not really getting active anyway, and then add that up to the individuals who's not trying to push the continuously of the same bullshit. So add that up. People that ain't really active anyway, a lot of things ain't actually happening. Then you got another percentage of individuals who pushing peace. That still equal out to a whole lot of no violence. So pay attention and do your math, man. And a lot of dudes, like I say, if you ain't really got certain stuff that comes with substance or make sense, or you could give some game up, be mindful on your approach about stuff. A lot of dudes ain't gonna be wanna, sit around and get what they need to get to kick knowledge. A lot of people is in it for different reasons, but it is what it is, man. We on the internet, and when you put yourself out here, people gonna have a jab at you if they agree with you or they disagree with you, pat on the back or whatever. But yeah, man, I think I definitely covered enough on this video and kicked out enough knowledge that makes sense and walked y'all down the good path. Shout out to them young dudes, man. Hope y'all the best for the future. Don't want to see none of y'all feeling no more hurt or pain than what y'all already doing. But it's street and it's life. Life ain't easy and the streets for sure ain't fair. So, keep y'all head on the swivel and just learn as y'all go. And be thankful if y'all get a chance to learn as you go. Because a lot of dudes didn't have another chance. A third chance, fourth time, fifth time, and all that. A lot of dudes, they first missions, they was knowed out. Washed up. First missions. Dead on return to fire. You know what I'm saying? First got put on, same month. People come through, eat them up on the block. Some dudes, first time in jail. All kind of traumatic stuff happens to them. Some people don't make it back. So don't ever confuse with this percentage of individuals that have survived these times and these sentences and survived these shots and all this pain and everything that come with it. Don't forget about that other percentage of people who didn't have all them chances, homie. Real talk.